I know President Trump embellishes, but yeah.
What is this? This is an 8-minute segment on Fox Business. Full discussion on socialism on the raise across the U.S. I do not want to be so cocky about this and wake up one day and the next president of the AOC. I want to find out why this is happening. Oh my God.
America isn't just flirting with socialism. Some voters have fallen in love. The wrong kind of right. Voters went for candidates who promised to bring down costs with freebies. Let's talk about what this means for the midterms. And can we just talk about what it means for the state of the nation? Are we in danger here of losing our foot?
I think you should be scared. I will be honest. I think this should be a wake-up call for a lot of people, but I hope they don't wake up. The reason why I say it is this. It's not because of people like myself, right? As much as I would love to take credit for this, being like an avowed defender and supporter and advocate for socialism, okay? It's only happening as a direct consequence of material conditions unwinding so hard for the average person that in spite of the negative framing of socialism for decades, in spite of the antagonistic feelings that people have or people have been taught to have about anything that is like social, not just socialism, but just any sort of like social safety net expansions are immediately shot down due to the fears that people have developed against it. The reason why they're still saying, it can't be so bad is because what's going on right now is that bad. In a country as heavily propagandized against socialism, when you have younger generations saying, maybe this socialism stuff is good at the heart of empire and the imperial core. Are you kidding me? The only reason why people are doing that is because you don't have any redistributive policies. Any. You've ruined it. You have like unlimited greed has basically gotten in the way of extending capitalism. It's gotten so bad that people, in spite of the propaganda, are deciding to take a closer look at this alternative organization of the economy, and maybe they like what they're seeing. That, and also I think like China's rise will make it impossible for people to not realize. Meanwhile, Hakeem Jeffries outlines new Democratic message strategy to counter GOP claims that the party is socialist. Oh my God, I'm going to die. All right, let's do this first.
I think it's just politically, it's a huge loser. I know Mandami won in New York City, and you can get these crazy cities, okay? And you might get socialist candidates. But when you look at the whole country's map, it is an absolute loser. I mean, Mandami becomes a poster child for far-left politics. Crockett in Texas, she's going to run for Senate or something. She becomes a poster. It's craziness when they start talking about taking over companies and everything is for free and taxing rich people. This country doesn't want socialism. It's never wanted socialism. There's always been pockets of it, silly pockets of it, but really Trumpism, which is an open, free economy, business should flourish, build factories. Trumpism is going to clobber.
This sucks because now everyone is associating Trumpism with what's going on currently. So good luck selling that. HasanAbi Productions posted a video of Hasan and Asman debating did it actually happen as an Asman refugee. This is some Super Bowl level content. Thanks for all you do, by the way. I mean, it was me basically typing in his chat and then him responding.
All these little blue state or blue city socialists. That's my take.
I agree. I think at some point, you know, I mean, look, America ultimately gets it right after we try everything else, right? I mean, I think certain people, groups, young people, they don't really understand what socialism is. Others understand that we've tried these experiments before and they've failed. So I think at the end of the day, socialism will be tried, it will fail, and they will try a different approach. But we'll have to go through the experience and the experiment.
They'll grow up. They'll grow up.
They'll have to grow up.
Those kind of ideas never change, right? They fade away and then they come back with a flourish. But I will say what's unique about this or interesting about it, Mamdani, is who voted for him. You know, the people who are the best positioned to be the most well-off people in America, college grads who live in New York City, who were wooed there by the best companies in America.
I don't think they lived in New York City for very long.
No,
okay?
Oh my God.
You can actually come to New York City and say
It's always so funny because, like, it's not even true. Yeah, he had a coalition of like well-off or well-educated voters, but he also literally still ended up getting a lot of the poorest voters as well. And not only that, but also who gives a f? He won. These guys are so butthurt. They are like, oh, well, the working poor didn't vote for socialism because they know better than anybody else that socialism is bad. I don't give a f, dude. It's not only wrong, but even if it was right, who gives a shit? Like, okay, there are a lot of people who are working class or in who would benefit the most from socialist principles that don't believe in it. Who cares? What does that say? Like, what is this argument? Have you ever given a shit about what a poor person thinks? No. Why are you acting like you care now? You're a Fox News commentary person. You don't give a about the working poor. You advocate for their demise every day.
Lived here for a long time. If you lived here 30 days, you're allowed to vote. 30 days,
Right.
Charles.
Well, to your
so
point,
I don't think they're long-term New Yorkers.
People who lived in New York more than 10 years overwhelmingly did not vote for Mamdani. But my point is that these are folks that you would think, okay, these are educated folks. They're going to end up leading companies. They're going to end up being CEOs. He's wooing those kind of people. Why? It's worth asking. I don't disagree about the ultimate failure, but I do not want to be so arrogant that or cocky about this that, hey, wake up one day and the next president is AOC. I want to find out why this is happening right now.
It is important, I agree. The messaging and communication parts are very important. The virtues of capitalism, the job creation and the wage and income creation, that's also the ability, okay, the ability to be an entrepreneur, right? You can fail 5 times, you keep picking yourself up, and the 6th time or the 8th time, and you hit it, and you become a billionaire, okay? That is still, I think, very much a part of the American culture.
I agree.
And very much a part of American politics. And these crazy people, I mean, Republican Party should take advantage of it. And I believe, you know, they've just got...
Brother, he's selling a concept that no one believes in anymore, unless you're like the dumbest person, right? People are underwater. They're saddled with debt. Everything is expensive. They're dumping 50% of their low wages into their rent. And you're over here being like, oh, come on, just become an entrepreneur, dumbass. That's how it works. It's like, yeah, I wonder why this kind of argument doesn't work anymore. That's precisely the reason why you guys are out of touch. There's still, this is kind of like Israel doing propaganda to a world that is, you know, moved beyond assuming that Israel's the most moral nation. These guys are doing propaganda to a very different world. It's not the 90s anymore, okay? It's 2026.
Look, Trump is a guy who wants to build factories. I come back to that.
Yep.
Factories are so important. Socialists don't like factories, okay? Or if they do,
They'd rather China do it.
They want to run them. They want to. The state will run them.
Well, you're hitting on the issue of capitalism, and it built us into this incredibly prosperous leading nation in the world. But why people maybe, or some people, are not getting that message. But I talk to people, like talking to all these people who are working with AI in the technology industry, and they go back to, I would rather live nowhere else in the world because of the innovation that is enabled in the United States. So
The freedom.
It's not, if you don't call it capital.
What innovation and what freedom? What freedom, honestly? Like, what good is being able to call the president if you are not free of lifetime medical debt? These guys are say, oh yeah, you're free to, you know, consume every different type of porn and also gamble basically on every single application that's readily available at your fingertips.
Capitalism.
Hell yeah, dude.
You call it the freedom to start a business.
That's right.
The freedom to, if you build it into something that's incredible, you get to keep the fruits of that labor.
That's the key. By the way, don't, I know I keep coming back to this, and I'm a supply sider. Do not underestimate the power of very low tax rates. Very low tax rates. It's terrific. Look, Europe used to tax at 60, 70, 80%. Some of those countries still do. Nobody wants to be there. They don't have any technology companies, okay?
Yeah, everyone's escaping Europe at an alarming rate. They're all coming here. Remember what I said? If you don't ever have your idiotic worldview questioned by someone who is like credible, and you just consistently get this flow of propaganda, then you're never going to question it. You're going to be like, all right, yeah, this guy's right. Yeah, everyone is escaping Europe because the taxes are so high.
They want to tax our technology companies, but they don't have any. But here, right, you get rewarded for your effort.
Well,
okay?
finally, Silicon Valley is getting it.
You tax something less, you get more of it. That's the American dream
Well,
for
the
business.
longest time, these Silicon Valley titans were all globalists, and they were not necessarily thinking the way you are, but now they are wrapping themselves in the American flag.
It's amazing.
And you go to President Trump and you go to the White House, they're all over the place.
Yes.
They want to get a voice. They want to have a voice with President Trump.
And they moved to Texas.
They get it.
They
And
moved
they're
to
moving
Texas.
That's
I mean, that's the thing. They moved to Florida.
Yeah.
They moved to Texas.
Low tax states.
They're leaving New York, for heaven's sake. The stock exchange is opening up in Dallas. The stock exchange is in Miami. What is it?
JP Morgan right now, JP Morgan has more employees in
There you
Texas
go.
than it does in New York.
Right.
Jamie Dimon just told me that.
And it's because those tech gurus encountered the leftists and the socialists in the White House who were propping up Joe Biden.
Biden went to war with them.
Right, and said to their faces, to Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, there are not going to be any more AI companies. There will be 2 or 3 big companies, and we are going to control them. That was a quote from Mark Andreessen.
And while you're at it, cancel all the Republicans on your sites, and they did.
Right.
Under Joe Biden.
No, I mean, that's they're brilliant people. We've always been able to attract brilliant people because you are rewarded for the risk.
Yeah.
You think, you can take the risk. You can find it.
This is the 85-year-old's version of like, it's the wokes that made the titties in video games smaller argument, but in a way that, because like if you were to make that argument to an 85-year-old, they'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't care. So this is their version of it, which is the reason why your grandchildren didn't talk to you is because Joe Biden made it illegal for you to be on Facebook. Okay. And the business owners hated doing that. They hated it. And they're not totally using this as a propaganda tool to curry favor with the right-wing administration so that they can get all the tax cuts and all the unlimited subsidies from Trump.
Capital, you can take the risk, and you're rewarded for it. And you know, Biden wanted to hijack that. He went to war with them, and that's how you have an epiphany when someone that you think is your friend all of a sudden is like, you know, putting a gun to your head, and all of a sudden they said, let's think clear about this, and they have made these
That's why Trump,
changes.
you know, I don't know what the right number is, and I know President Trump embellishes, but whatever. If he gets $10 trillion.
Oh, let me tell you real quick what you're saying.
If he
It says
gets
$18 trillion right now.
So 2 weeks, a couple weeks ago,
if he gets a third.
Fox Business, by the way, literally making a mockery of Donald Trump, routinely lying about all the IOUs that he's getting. Amazing. Like openly giving the game away. He's like, yeah, he lies a little bit. He embellishes.
Then it'll be
a couple of weeks ago, Bloomberg they delved into the numbers, and the headline said, Trump brags about 21 trillion. We did the work. It's only 7 trillion.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think it is 7 trillion. I think it's much closer to 17 trillion.
They're
I think it's
coming
more than that,
here.
but even if it was
The point
7,
is,
that's huge.
They're coming here.
That's funny.
That's the victory for capitalism over socialism. They're coming here because of our freedom.
Low regulation, low taxes. Europe might be quaint
And they're
for
not
a
coming
visit.
to New York.
Oh, here's
either.
something about this. Get this. Okay, you go to Europe right now. Do you know that the highest valuation in Europe right now is Novo Nordisk at $350 billion? The highest valuation in America, $5 trillion for NVIDIA. Why can't Europe generate a company worth $1 trillion?
It's made up. Novo Nordisk is valued at that price because it has an incredibly valuable product that virtually single-handedly has changed healthcare almost permanently. NVIDIA is $5 trillion because we just make it up. It's so crazy. NVIDIA relies entirely on a company called ASML, which is based in Europe. Actually, all of CPU and GPUs do. Yeah.
One word: regulation.
Yeah.
That's it.
I
Europe
thought you-
can't keep up.
I thought you were going to say socialism.
Oh, that too. But
We have
It's
1 minute for predictions for the new year.